Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you. All right, we're going to come this way. We're going to start this a little bit unconventional by taking a whole conference selfie. So, everyone, try to scooch in or lean in to the center. We're going to lean in, y'all. Lean in, lean in. You guys are like, what's happening? Lean in. We're going to do the selfie. Okay, we're going to try to get everybody in there. Lean in. Okay. Say 1, 2, search. Woo! All right. Always a nice way to do it. And we'll just do a quick intro. So for all of you, my name is Angeley Mullins. I'm originally from California, hence the accent. I'm the founder and CEO of Attendees Ventures, which has everything to do with tech. And I will pass to let the lovely Olena.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Olena Gorbatiuk. I came from London, and I'm a product manager for 10 years and came to search from data background.
Thank you. And my name is Atita Arora. I guess most of you know me here because ich bin ein Berliner. And I work as a director of AI at Voyager Search and been in IR and almost like NLP AI space for almost 2 decades. So excited to be here and sharing stage with you too.
Yes. All right, so let's get started. I was asked today to talk about the hype, but before I do, I want to just give a little bit intro to the Women of Search. So like we said before, 3 years, 300 members. I mean, it's really grown. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's all about empowering women and creating allies. So can I have all the men raise their hands? All the men, you can do it. Thank you for being our allies. Absolutely amazing. So it's a platform to provide networking mentorship. You can absolutely join us, and we will be over here after the speech that you can go ahead and take photos and a talk if you want to learn anything else or anything more. And I thought it would be really cool to just show some pictures of how everything has grown. So you've probably seen the wonderful Atita and Olena at some of the conferences in the past. So let's jump right into it. The $6.7 billion question. I know you guys can read the slide, but what is this question? What's the money that's being dumped into what? Agents, AI agents. I remember the days where we used to have the pen and paper and we would draw out our workflows. Not anymore. With all of our AI agents, we have so many VCs, PE firms, accelerators, incubators dumping so much money into AI. Who in this room works for an AI company? Okay, we probably wouldn't have been able to say that 10 years ago. So the hype is real, and it's absolutely here to stay. Y Combinator, one of many incubators dumping so much money in, and the majority of companies nowadays will be either AI focused or AI agents. Does anyone here work for NAN by any chance? The workflows, who's used NAN? Couple? Does anyone work for Parloa, AI agent customer service? They just did a huge funding round, so you can look them up as well, but I think we're proud to have those companies here in Berlin. So, ChatGPT, I think everyone uses it. Who doesn't use it? Yeah, I didn't think so. Everybody uses it. Have you guys seen the telly show where Sam Altman came out and said, yes, it does decrease your brain cells in using it? And by the way, there's no, we'll call it client attorney privilege, so everything that you're typing in there, guess what? It can be called up if needed, so take a look at what you're typing in. But either way, the revolution is here. So, where is it coming from? Who's heard of the term GTM engineer? GTM engineer. Okay. How it used to be, and who's used Clay? Does anyone use a tool called Clay? It's a prospecting tool. It is one of the hottest tools right now, and they coined this term called a GTM engineer. So what used to happen in marketing, sales, and customer support, you used to have something like this in sales. You would have these account executives, and then you would hire SDRs, BDRs to come in, but we're not doing that anymore. We're basically gonna have one GTM engineer that does everything, and then everything's floated through AI agents and AI workflows. And so for those of you who are software engineers, product managers, et cetera, you're not exempt from this because this hype is coming to your doorstep. Yes, SDR, so Sales Development Representative, BDR, Business Development Representatives. So what that means is these used to be people that would do all these outbound prospecting. So who's been on LinkedIn and has got one of those annoying prospecting emails? Can you buy our software, our service? Yeah, that's an SDR or a BDR doing that for you, and they're using tools like HubSpot and their sequences or Salesforce, and now they're using a new tool called Clay. If you don't know about Clay, please do look it up. And if one day they have the ability to invest, it might be. You heard it here first. But either way, these AI agents and AI workflows. So this is what's going to be happening. All right. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Okay. So AI is here, but how many of you have actually had the opportunity to be trained in either AI workflows, or AI agents at your company? Okay? How many of you have not had the opportunity to be trained? Your company has not given you that opportunity or presented it? Everybody's getting trained, everybody's happy? All right. What I will say is some companies are doing it, some are not. And this is going to be the key differentiator, and this is where the hype is coming from. So the companies that are not training their people in AI and AI agents, they're going to be left behind. The companies that do, they're going to advance, and the people that work for them, of course, will have those skills. But it's something that we're seeing in the industry. Who's heard of this company? Duolingo. We love to hate on Duolingo. I'm sure you guys all heard in the news. So we always talk about kind of AI agents and AI workflows gone wrong. This is really interesting. I think you guys all heard they tried to outsource their entire customer service department, and what happened? What happened? Backlash. People started saying, no, we want to learn from a human. So what's the lesson here? What's the lesson? Better agents, yes. Yes. The lesson is there are some things that AI and AI agents are fantastic for and will be amazing for. There are other things that we still need humans and human authenticity. And I think this is what, unfortunately, the CEO at Duolingo is learning, but he's not alone, because then there's this guy. Klarna. Who's heard of Klarna? Yes. What happened with Klarna? So they tried to implement AI agents and workflows, and they didn't think it through properly. So there's nothing wrong with AI agents. There's nothing wrong with AI workflows. It's just they didn't think it through properly. Now, I think that they did IPO, but not before having, I would call, one of the most stunning roller coaster rides in valuation in history. If you ever want to look up how you lose $40 billion in valuation in a period of time, that would be a really, really cool use case. So, human authenticity will become the new luxury. And this is one of the things that's so important. I know that today we're at a tech conference. I know we're diving deep into tech. However, think about the days before Google Maps. Who remembers the days before Google Maps where you actually had to know where you were going? Nowadays, I can't get to the coffee store without opening up my phone, turn right, turn left, 300 meters. It's going to be the same way with AI agents and AI workflows. Human creativity, human authenticity will become the new luxury. So how many of you on LinkedIn or any other platform have seen the images AI generated? And you've seen the feed, AI generated. Between now 2025 and 2030, it's all going to be that way. So guess what will be the new gold luxury? Exactly, original content, original photo. It's going to be a transformational moment in history. All right. This is something you guys can all do. This is a little test. People say, oh, all you need to do is just rank in AI. Everybody wants to know how to do it. Here's a test. Who has ChatGPT on their phone, Perplexity on their phone, Claude on their phone? Take out your phones. Take out your phones, everybody. Open up your GPT of choice. Type into the search bar. Write me a summary about, put your name in there. Super interesting. I did the same. You can do it for your company, you can do it for your favorite industry, your favorite product, whatever it might be, but it's kind of cool to see your own name and what shows up. I did that for myself. Write me a summary about myself. And the interesting thing is look at the sources. This is really where the insights happen. You start to look at the sources and where it pulls from. Pop quiz, who knows the #1 leading source for content ranking on ChatGPT? Reddit. So if you want to rank on ChatGPT, start pumping Reddit. However, if you're looking at a Perplexity, etc., and look at the sources, the really cool thing is these things are still user-generated types of content, meaning you pump out stuff on your own website, meaning your own blogs, your own videos, YouTube, etc. So just think about that when you're looking at what pops up in the GPTs. All right, critical thinking. Critical thinking over the next 5 years, it's going to be a transformational and revolutionary time. We're just scratching the surface. We're just at the beginning. Everyone thinks it's going to be the new AI tool, the new AI feature. There's going to be tons of advancements, but it will actually be critical thinking. Why? We grew up in a generation before AI. The new generation coming up, they're growing up in a generation with just AI, which means they're being told what to think, told what to do. It's going to be really, really different. So critical thinking, remember, will become really the hot new thing over the next years. All right. And with all of that said, I would love to pass it to the lovely Olena, and she's going to take you through search and talk all about it.
Thank you. So as we got, agents are our future. And the good news for the search community that agents need search, but we need to build it in a different way. Imagine 100 years ago when the cars were just invented and the lucky few who drove the first car quickly discovered a harsh reality. Cars were stuck in the mud, roads were too narrow, bridges were too weak, no fuel stations, no repair shops, no spare parts, no traffic signals or rules leading to the mess on the roads. And the first cars were not limited because of the invention itself. They were limited because the world around them was still designed for horses. And now AI agents are our cars. New technology with a huge potential that are stuck on the roads, designed for horses. Just like cars, AI agents struggle because our search systems were not designed for them. For decades, we have been building and optimizing our search engines for only one user, and that's human. But the trend shows that AI agents are going to do more and more searches. Features like suggested keywords, pick up where you left, or post-search filters, this is the experience that we designed for people, and it doesn't matter for agents. Humans are limited in how we search. We get bored after the few searches. Our queries are shorter. About 90% actually, 90% of users won't go past the first page of the search results. We are impatient, and we often give up. And the agents behave differently. No bored, never tired, never give up. And they need something different from search. Agents are becoming our new search user, and we as a search people have the opportunity to build the new roads and unlock the full potential for the new technology. When I search for restaurants in London, I scan a couple of top results, a few of them, maybe click a few links and read a couple of reviews. And it takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to make my dinner reservations. When agents search, they don't read. They gather data to complete my dinner reservation in seconds. They can go deeper and deeper and deeper with their research, something that I won't definitely do when I'm doing my reservations. Agents area search should be optimized for recall, context, and data openness. We should make it easy for agents to access and retrieve the information and enable the successful task completion. And how we measure search should need to change as well. For humans, the success was clicks and engagement. And for agents, the success is reliable and cost-efficient task completion. Our metrics shift from are humans satisfied with our search results to are agents reliably completing the task, and we actually help, our search engine helps to enable that. And this is the change that's already happening, and the companies building for agents today will define the search landscape of tomorrow. So don't get left behind and build your roads to the future. And I'm passing to Atita to give her thoughts how to do that.
Thank you, Olena. Thank you, Angie. Okay, so I think that was sort of like a good, I would say, scaffolding to what I would be talking about. So we've covered from where is the hype coming from and what needs to change on the product side of things. And definitely looks amazing and very promising future ahead. But I would like to begin things with a little trivia. And I know that the native speakers are probably going to win this one. And the reason why I'm showing this picture is, let me give you a background of like how people think about AI agents, that, you know, you can schedule things, you can generate content, you can search for me, and you can automate this and that, and be reliable, be cost-effective in production and whatnot. It's just as this creature. I don't know. I think it doesn't really exist in the real life. It's like it lays eggs, it gives you milk, it can get you like bacon, and then you can also use the wool. And I don't have any prizes, but I can promise you that I can bring like a prize during the break. But you can raise hands, and I would prefer if it's not a native German speaker. I know you're not. So can someone please give him a mic? I want to see if someone knows what this creator is called. Or do you want to shout? Oh my God, can we please give him a round of applause? That is exactly correct. And I think this perspective of like AI agents kind of, you know, would do everything for you. I think that's where, I mean, we are basically stressing out AI agents, you know, under the weight of our expectations. Yes, I mean, this is worth tweeting actually, by the way. So I guess, I would probably talk about a little bit, like when back in like 2013, I saw this movie. I was basically on the back-end side, kind of doing a bit of like NLP, big data. Big data was coming in at that time. And I saw this movie. I don't know, I cannot really count how many times I've seen this movie. It's very unhealthy. And every single time, I would be like, this is the purpose of my life. This is what I ever want to make. You know, something that's more like a personal assistant. Anyone who's seen this movie? That's it? I was expecting like everyone, we are nerds, no? I mean, I thought everyone would have seen this movie. And I feel like I'm not the only one who was inspired this movie. I mean, Sam Altman, you know, when he launched ChatGPT 4.0, I mean, he also said, this is her. So for a little background, I mean, this person has Samantha, like the personal assistant, And for the longest time, I mean, that's what we see. I mean, he fell in love with his personal assistant, and I guess, but the part that I want to focus on is that it did pretty much everything: analyze content, write emails, respond to this, make reservation, and whatnot. And this is what kind of inspires people that we're building basically her. I'm happy that it's also her, it's not him. Yeah, that's a win. So, but then in real life, is this how sexy it is? I mean, is that what AI agents actually are? I would say that I'm mom of a teenager. I can say that AI agents are just like awkward teenagers. You know why? Because they are capable of impressive things. I mean, they know a lot, but then do they actually do that? I mean, they lack that maturity and judgment that a normal grown-up human being would have, and that's probably what agents are as well. And I love this picture. I mean, I think I have included like the source where I got it from, but that's also like teenage sex. Apparently, people talk about it more than actually they do it. So does that mean that none of the agent applications are working? Well, I would be lying, because at least I have found that there are a lot of applications which work. 2 of them that kind of like stand out to me because they're making money, their valuation is increasing, and I think because there are so many developers in the house, I think all of us use Cursor. Raise a hand, show of hand. Amazing. I mean, maybe use some different kind of like Copilot, but then, and the other one is Sierra. So I've included some of the notion of like Sierra, because it's kind of like building agents in a very, I would say, like approachable kind of bounded way. I mean, you have a lot of use cases in which you kind of would actually expect an agent to kind of automate things for you. So I've also highlighted like some of the things as to you can get finance, you can get roadside assistance, you can get insurance deductible, deliver furniture, also a lot of like customer grievances handling and whatnot, and also food delivery, yes. So these are like the successful use cases, and then Cursor, of course, like it's like going all in on agents with every single day as we talk. And the valuation of these companies are also increasing. So yes, definitely some of it is definitely working. It's not all the hype. So one thing that also I would like for everyone to understand is that are these all promises? Like everyone seems to be talking about automation and agents kind of changing the world. I mean, by all means, like 2025 was supposed to be the year of agents. I mean, I'm not kind of like really sort of like convinced that if we are talking about agents that a lot. So where is this hype from the natural sense coming from? Like, why do we expect so much from agents? So here I have a picture, which is like what actually composes AI agents. So obviously, we say that they have superhuman speed and they never forget any instruction. I mean, as long as it is in their context window. They work 24/7 as long as you have the deployment in a very reliable manner. You can make them interact with any API or tool, and again, you have to get them access to it. And they can write code, analyze data, generate content, and whatnot. So AI agent, if I look at broadly, it has the brain powered by LLM, which can do reasoning, planning, decision-making, and all sort of stuff. And it has the body, which basically is about the capabilities, which is delivered to them through the tools. And then we have the key characteristic part, that they're autonomous. They can actually make decisions for you. They have a goal and an action plan, and they adapt to the changing environment or the changing condition. I think that's what makes sort of like a superhuman kind of part of agents. But let's not forget that there's a but, because with the promise that we can use not AI as a tool, but actually as a teammate. But what stops us? The part that stops us is the implementation challenges, because this superhuman teammate that you have, this also can confidently give you wrong information. How many times you've seen like ChatGPT coming up with a very confident tone, like this is exactly what the answer is, and then you re-verify, and then you find that, dude, this is not correct. I had it like all the time. I mean, I somehow have started losing trust, like, can I really trust it? We know, we call it hallucination now. So yes, it can give you wrong information. One of the other things, I mean, if you look at, so obviously that comes from the part that it's been trained on, so data and integration, performance and reliability, tool quality, something that offers capabilities to the agents. Then comes the human factor. Obviously, they can't really truly understand the context the way humans do. I mean, they don't understand the sensitivity part, right? So, which is why the adoption and change management is something that we struggle with in terms of challenges. There's always like a knowledge gap. Obviously, LLMs, they have the training cutoff date as well. So there are like obviously factors that we have to take in account. And the other thing is that, they can do unexpected things. I mean, we've seen like so many failure stories of like LLMs giving wrong information and the company's reputation and kind of like what they had to do to kind of, hide that under the wraps. So they do unexpected things if your instructions are ambiguous. So, and ambiguous as a word is very ambiguous. Like, what defines ambiguity? So it means that, people need to work on their prompts, like what instructions do they give, put guardrails and whatnot. And that's the trust and security bit that I want to talk about. That even though they have so many capabilities, I'm not denying that, but then the trust and security part is like something we still struggle with. And that's the bit about the governance and ethics as well. So if you look at the governance ethics aspect as well, that's where people are talking about ethical AI. Is AI still like trustworthy? Is it okay to share your data with it? In my previous conference where I give the smaller version of this talk, I asked people that, because there were like a lot of people from medical and finance domain in the crowd, I asked them that, okay, people who are basically raising hand that you were building agents, and because I knew that the audience were from medical and finance domain, I was like, so how confident you are to take medicine which is recommended by AI? Please raise hand. And everyone was like, and I'm like, why? You building those agents, like, why don't you trust them? And no one kind of raised hand. And then the other question that I asked was like, because the other half of the crowd was from finance, I was like, okay, would you share your credit card details or your banking details with agents? So why people do not trust? I mean, even though that they come with like so much capability and then, like performance promises, why don't we trust them? Because they still lack, like the ethical concerns still kind of, are causing that bit of like mistrust that people have. And then the governance, I mean, is this data accessible? Should this data be accessible to this person or not? I think this is where they kind of like fail as well. And that's when they end up doing unexpected things. So, which is why they need constant supervision, and human in the loop kind of comes into the picture. So, problem here is that they really don't have any real judgment about what's appropriate or safe without any explicit guardrails. That's very depressing, I know. I mean, everyone is feeling, oh my God, it's like doomed. We're talking about agents so much, and then, there are like so many flaws, but is it like really stopping people to build agents? Are you depressed? Will you stop making agents now? I don't think so. And I think this is the proof. I mean, this is the screenshot I took about, I think, first week of September. I checked it in the morning. I actually wanted to update this, but then I felt like it's too much of a like hush-hush change, like maybe I should not do it. This is the current agent landscape, AI agents directory. And if you look at, they are, as of like September first week, there were about 64 different categories. It's 66, I think. And they're almost 2,000 agents in different categories. So people are automating pretty much everything and anything here. No one is stopping. So that shows that, we are sort of like moving past the challenges. And why is that happening? How is that happening even? The reason why that's happening is that we're waking up to reality. Everyone is acknowledging that that's what is happening. What is it that agents lack? And what would it take to build more dependable, more reliable agents? So I'm sure anything that I've kind of provided or like attached on this slide is not news to you guys. I mean, there was a report that 95% of generative AI pilots at companies are failing, and people are mulling on, like, why are they failing? Because people still do not do the requirement engineering that well. So one of the other things is, like this paper, I think that's quite like insightful, not eye-opening. There's nothing new in that. But then they've confessed that, LLMs are going to hallucinate. It's the matter of fact that how do we provide more clear instructions? And this talk from AI Engineer Conference, which is happening at the same time, by the way, in Paris. There's a talk here. I would highly, highly recommend people watching it because they have a holistic agent leaderboard, although leaderboards are not to be trusted, but then this is kind of independent and more like academic work. And they talk about the standardized cost-aware and third-party leaderboard for evaluating agents. I think this is a very good start in terms of bringing what's real and someone judging it from the outside as to if it's even worth investing or using this agent in their live production-ready setup. So yes, we are at a very stage where we are facing the uncomfortable truth, but also we are looking forward to the exciting reality. So what I would say is that for the agent or AI agent implementation successful system, I would say that 3 factors to keep in mind, and some of them may sound like, be a little bit like, don't expect too much. So design for failure. Now, every agentic system is powered by LLM, and I know that you all know that they do hallucinate. It's like proven again and again and again. So we have to make sure that when it actually fails, we cover that with sort of like explicit instructions, and then making sure that we have the graceful fallback. We have to build assuming 85% reliability. Please, let's not like pressurize agents to kind of do 99.9%. And then one of the things that I also spoke about in terms of like the implementation challenges that people do not like being served by agents. I mean, we saw stories sent and shared by Angie that there's a lashback on like, we don't want to be served by a machine. We want to be served by humans. I mean, make these themes visible. Make users understand that they've been served by agents. I mean, don't hide it. Let them face the truth that this is what the world is going to look like. And more or less, this is going to kind of bring in the sense of like adaptability to this change. Other thing, I think that's what OSC kind of does really, really well. So measure what matters. So I think because I've worked with OSC before, I would say that the metrics and the KPIs assessment and like understanding what really matters to you is like something I would say that people really do not do that well. So that's what we need to do. We need to track not only the success rates, but talk about failures. Talk about that, this is what doesn't work with agents, and educate others, like share the stories about it. Also, one of the other things is like we have to get into the habit of monitoring cost per outcome and not like total cost of like using agents or using LLMs and so on and so forth. One of the things that kind of like stands out to me is that agents eventually, with a lot of feedback and human in the loop, would become intelligent. And how do we measure that? Are they there yet or not? Is like something that we need to measure with the time to human intervention. And as soon as like, the time to human intervention kind of increases, that's when we know that agents are getting there. We're kind of like close to like agents becoming independent, autonomous. The other thing is like invest in boring stuff. I know. I mean, last year I was like obsessed with evaluation because I switched from OSC to another company, and then I was like obsessed with evaluation because I was like, this looks very promising as long as we can evaluate and come up with the data. I'm a data obsessed person, I have to say that. So evaluation frameworks are something that you need to start from very beginning. Before scaling, think about evaluations. Think about what really matters. Think about putting the business value, user needs, and rest of the other things together to evaluate what really matters. We have to make sure that we implement observability before we add complexity to the system. We need to talk about governance before we grow our use case. So all of this, I would say, in collaboration, looks very, very promising reality that we're looking forward to, that agents are going to bring in. So I know that we're almost at the time of the talk, so I would leave you with some final thoughts that it's not the question of if AI agents or if AI is going to change your domain, your use case implementation, or your development practice. I mean, I think we're at the point that they have proven they are going to change how you work, how things are implemented. The question is of when. When exactly is that going to happen? So be ready for that reality. We're not at the beginning of the agent revolution anymore. And we're not at the end either. We're not there yet. But we are at the end of the beginning. What that means is that don't wait agents to be perfect, because they never will be. Instead, pick one process, one workflow, one repetitive task in your organization where an 80% solution would still deliver value. Pick that use case, implement that with agents, and train your agent muscle. Because in the age of AI agents, the biggest risk isn't moving too fast. It's like not moving at all. And with that, I would request all the women to come onto the stage to take the group picture for the Haystack Women of Search. We can do that after, or maybe in the break. But let's stay in touch. Please connect with us and be more involved. And allies also super, super welcome. And that's our talk. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Do you have any questions to our speakers? There's one.
Thanks, Atita. And also, I mean, 300 members, that's awesome. It's amazing to see how the group has grown. I have a question. So in this age of agents, where we're prioritizing recall perhaps more than we would with a human-derived search, and obviously that affects precision because it's always a balance between these two things. So what does relevance mean to an AI agent performing a search?
That's a super question. I think, and that question I would say is not dependent only on AI agents per se. I think Olena showcased that, the whole realm is changing. Do you want to take this question, by the way?
Yeah, I can take it. So the relevance will depend on the task. Like for one task, you might have the relevant data that becomes not relevant for another. So the context will become more important. So how we actually gather that context and how we measure like the return and the relevance would need to be changed. Like how, we probably don't have the answer yet, but this is something that we need to pay attention on and learn like how we build the agents and like what the success means like for them, not for like search and the users anymore.
I think I can extend on that answer because we're using agents in production, and I work in a very specific, very niche domain now, which is about GIS, and things that basically answer question about climatic condition looking at the satellite imagery. And things become even more difficult because the reason why we automated in the first place or used agents was because we cannot afford to hire so many GIS experts. So one of the things that we do is that we grab like the subset of the interactions, and we actually use, quite like human in the loop. Like, because we can not afford for GIS experts to look at everything, but then we definitely can afford for them to look at the smaller subset of like maybe 35% of the interactions where and how we can improve that part. So that's what we're definitely doing.
All right, we have one question from the online audience. Managers in general have fear of missing out on AI. It takes a lot of money and learning to get it right. Can you advise on some strategy how to push back and do this reasonably instead of going all in and stressing people and organization?
I think that's a question for Angie, actually. Please come here.
Okay, well, let's get up.
The online audience are going to see you when you stand here, so.
The online audience. So when I asked the question of you during the first part of the speech, how many of your companies were training you, a decent amount raised their hands. There are other companies which are not training people for exactly this reason and this question. The point is if you bring everyone together, so look at what happened with Duolingo and Klarna. Basically, the CEOs got together with their board. They decided, okay, it's just going to be a budgetary decision. And they said, okay, AI agents can just come in and make things more efficient. They did the cuts, and then they got the backlash. So backlash from the customer side, and then also backlash internally. Why? You need the intelligence, you need the tribal knowledge, you need the know-how of all of you. All of you who are working for your each individual companies to understand how it will be implemented, why it should be implemented, will it be a good idea, will it be a good business decision? So this is the best, most singular way that you can make good quality business decisions on if to use AI, if to implement AI agents. It's about bringing everyone along, because who knows best about how to run the current company? All of you. That's what I would say. How many of you have been in your company and you've seen a business decision and you're wondering, how the hell did they make that decision? Yeah, okay, we've all been there. And I think it's something that just happens in business, but it's the one thing that needs to change. Because with AI agents, you're gonna see the transformation happen at the speed of light, and we can't have these decisions of, how did that happen?
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we are at time, but I think you'll be around and
We would be.
open for conversations. So we have a 15 minutes break, come back at 11, and let's thank our speakers again.